Hi guys, and welcome to Escape with Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're looking at the Farasute model 5336A. I paid full price for this watch, but as always, no matter how I get a watch in on this channel, it's always going to get my honest and fair review. So if you are interested in this watch at the end of the review, go check out the link in the video description. That is an affiliate link. If you use that link, you're not going to pay any extra. It just earns the channel a little bit of commission, helps get in watches like these ones here. The full retail price for this watch is about $169 US. However, they do put them on sale fairly often. I picked up mine during some random sale for $152 after taxes, and I have seen them drop into the $140 range. So if you're patient, you can get a pretty good deal on this thing. The watch comes in 4 different colorways that you can see here. I think they all look great. I went for the blue just because I kind of needed a blue dress watch in the collection. The watch case is made of 316L stainless steel. It has a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating, a push-pull crown, screw-down case back, 50 meters of claimed water resistance, and the watch is powered by a customized Hangzhou automatic movement, which we will discuss in further detail later on. And I think you're going to want to stick around for that because it's been pretty secretive about it. So I have some information for you guys that I'm willing to share. So this is now my third Farasute that I've had on the channel, and I have to say they're putting out watches that have the feeling of a micro brand or even Swiss level watches. Their quality, the attention to detail, and you know, I'm happy to be able to show them off to you, and I'm happy to show this one off to you as well. So I say we get right into this full review, but before we do a quick wrist check today. Wearing the Addies Dive AD2066, I believe. This one will be coming up on the channel very soon. Just doing the reviewer thing, wearing it for a few days, and yeah, review for this will be up pretty soon. So stick around, subscribe if you're not. Let's get to the review. All right, let's get to dimensions. Got a case diameter of 39.1, case thickness of 10.3 millimeters, 20 millimeter lug width, an approximate dial diameter of 33 millimeters. Lug tip to lug tip, 47 millimeters. And on the supplied leather strap, it weighs about 57 grams. So I think the case size for me is just about perfect for a dress watch. 39 millimeters, really nice and thin, 10.2 to the crystal there. It wears great. It's got really nice turn down to the lugs as well. Everything is rounded off nicely, so it's super comfortable, super lightweight as well. So yeah, I love the way that this watch wears on me. So I'm going to go outside right now and throw it on my wrist for you. And here we are on my 7.5-inch wrist, and for me, this size is just perfect. I know it's not going to be for everyone. I know people like smaller dress watches, but for my wrist, this thing just wears wonderfully. You can see nice turn down to the lugs and super slim case. So the way that this thing wears and hugs my wrist and just the comfort level of it is just next level. So really happy with the way this thing wears. You can see how here legibility is not its strong suit, that's for sure, especially when you get it in the shadows like that. But you know, that's kind of the trade-off of a watch like this. I think the crystal is done really nice though, so yeah, I'm just hoping the kind of dial detail pops for you guys like it is for me. But really like the way this watch wears. And here we can see it in some direct sunlight. There's that beautiful sunburst. Looks really good. You got that guilloche pattern on the inside, which just kind of plays with the light just beautifully. Really nice. You can see the crystal there, keeping the dial about as legible as you can possibly keep it. So the crystal on this thing is excellent as well. The polishing, I'm hoping it comes across for you guys. The polishing is fantastic on this watch. Really happy with it. I even like the strap with it, but I will go try and throw it on some other straps. I haven't found one that I've totally fallen in love with yet, but we'll throw it on some just for fun, and we'll get back to this review. And here we are on a cut to size FKM smooth FKM strap. It looks great. I think it kind of dresses down the watch a little bit, makes it a little bit more casual, and I've actually been rocking it on this quite a bit lately. Super comfortable. Love these straps. Link will be down below in the description. Next up we have the Vario vintage leather strap in a light brown. I think it looks excellent on this. Light brown with the blue dial. I think it always looks pretty classy. And lastly, here we are, just a pretty standard black leather strap with the color match stitching there. Yeah, I think it looks fine. Not my favorite, but yeah, I definitely think it looks pretty good. All right, let's go back inside. Let's get back to this review. All right, so let's talk about case finishing. So case finishing, it is a fully polished case. I don't see any brushing on the case itself at all, but they did a very, very good job on the case finishing. I said this about one of their previous watches that when it's on wrist, this thing reflects my arm hairs like I've not seen many other watches do. So they really do a very good job with the case finishing. It's just ultra smooth, ultra sleek. There's no, like getting up real close, you can see there's just not much that you can nitpick about on this thing, even for the price point. It is excellent. Very, very smooth case, and it just looks great. Flipping it to the crown side here, you can see you have a push-pull crown. Really nice engraving on the crown too. It's not just stamped in there. It's nicely engraved with their logo. I think it looks fantastic. Flipping it to the case back here, you have a screw-down case back. Mixture of brushed and polished and circular brushing here. A little bit of a spec sheet around the inside there. You got the logo, the branding, everything here nice and smooth. Sometimes you can get kind of scratchy on these engravings here, but this one is nice and smooth and simple notches to get a tool in there. So yeah, overall, I am really, really happy with the case finishing on this watch. It's just, I mean, it's very simple, but it is executed to a very high standard. So yeah, very happy with the case finishing. All right, so let's test this thing for sapphire. It is positive for sapphire. So we have a double dome sapphire crystal with clear anti-reflective coating. It's a really good crystal, really, really good. It's obviously picking up a lot of reflections here, but I gotta say, out in the real world, the crystal itself is very nicely done, very clear. Yeah, not a whole lot to say about it. It's a very subtle dome, but it is a double dome, so nice and clear at all the angles there. No distortion on the edges or anything like that. So yeah, just a good crystal. I mean, that's all I can really say. It's a good crystal. All right, so let's talk about the dial. And the dial is beautiful, really, really nicely done. There's a lot going on, so let's get into it. We have a printed minute track around the outside, and then right up against the rehaut, so the space between the crystal and the dial there, you have this kind of ring of, I don't even know how to describe it, but you can see there a double ring there straddling that printed minute track. Everything is aligned perfectly there. And then inside of that, you have a circular brushed ring, which houses all the applied indices. We have a double dagger there at the 12 o'clock, and then single daggers everywhere else except 6, which has the subdial second hand there sweeping along. Really, again, just the attention to detail on this dial is exceptional. I'm pretty sure it's just a stamped dial. It's not a true guilloche pattern, but you can see here how the dial plays with the light. It looks awesome. It looks even better out in natural lighting. This isn't the best lighting to show off this dial, but this is what we have here. But really, really happy with the dial on this watch. The applied indices, you can see there, they're all faceted. So the legibility on this watch isn't the best. I'm going to say that. The legibility is probably its biggest downfall. But I will say it's still readable. As readable as you need it to be, I think. So it just looks, I mean, there's just a lot going on the dial. The handset kind of disappears in certain lighting. You can see the handset is also double faceted. One side of the hands is polished, and the other side is kind of like a bead blasted type of look. It's just like a frosted look. I've seen that same setup on my Seiko Cocktail, and a couple other watches do the same thing, but it's usually like Seiko and higher end stuff. So nice attention to detail there. You can see the polishing on the hands is excellent. They even have the second hand kind of capped off there. Yeah, just that kind of attention to detail is what kind of sets them apart. You can see the second hand here polished, sweeping along nicely there. Everything looks really good. You got the Farasute branding there, which I actually like. But yeah, I don't mind the branding at all on it. I think it looks pretty good. And then you have the automatic down there at the 6 o'clock subdial there. But the dial itself, it's a nice sunburst dial. It looks really, really good, as you can see here. Pretty dark blue on this model, and I think some of the other colors pretty true to life as to what's shown online. So yeah, pick the one that you like and go for it. I think they look good. There's no lume on it or anything like that, so we don't have to worry about that. It's just a very classic and classy dress style dial, and it just looks fantastic. All right, so let's talk about the movement on this thing. So you can see that I've removed the back here. It is a customized Hangzhou movement, and I think it's loosely based off of an old Seiko movement. So the Seiko 7009A movement, those are the old kind of Seiko 5 movements. So it is 21,600 beats per hour. The power reserve, I measured it at about 42 hours of power reserve. It has a bidirectional winding rotor, which is nice. It hand winds. It does not hack. And they say it is a customized Hangzhou movement. So I don't know if they made this movement specifically for this watch. I haven't seen anything in their catalog that looks like this. They obviously got rid of the day and the date on the Seiko part of it, and they added the subdial for the seconds hand. So that's what they've customized on it. I don't have anything else really to tell you. So far, so good. It's very accurate. I'll pop up the time grapher right here. You can see how it's been running for me. It's been running great. But yeah, the movement itself, it's really interesting. It does look pretty decent. Got some Janita striping. It's nothing fancy, but yeah, it's a really interesting movement. If you guys have any other information on this thing, maybe Hangzhou does sell this movement and I just couldn't find it, but the store hasn't been too much help other than telling me that it's a customized Hangzhou movement. That's all I can tell you. 21,600 beats per hour. I don't know the joule count. I measured about 42 hours of power reserve. So yeah, it's not the 96 hours that popped up at some point that someone said. So yeah, a little bit of a bummer there, but the movement seems fine. So as far as the operation of the watch, it's pretty standard affair. So this first position zero is your hand winding. Feels nice and smooth. It kind of reminds me of an NH35, honestly. And then the second position here jumps right out. You can see it does not hack the movement. So this is where you set your time. The alignment on the hands, spot on. It's nice and smooth. It's not jumping around or anything like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. There's no ghost date position or anything. Pop it back in, starts keeping time. Yeah, it's an interesting movement. I like when I have to do a little bit of digging here. So yeah, it's I believe it's a remade and customized old Seiko movement, so it should be very reliable over the long term. But yeah, finding a replacement for this thing or finding some place to get it serviced maybe might be a little difficult, but I'm not too worried about that at this price point. All right, so let's talk about the strap. So the strap on this watch, it's decent, pretty good. It's not one that I want to throw away. It's a darkish gray with some contrasting stitching there. I think it looks pretty good. The texture is nice. The kind of the sheen to it or the shine to the strap, just about right. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with it. It's 20 millimeters, tapers down to 16 millimeters at the clasp. I'm on this third from the last hole there. So the size-wise, really nice, probably up to an 8-inch wrist and probably down to 6 1/4-inch wrist. You have one floating keeper, one stationary keeper. The buckle, really nicely done. I like the shape of it. I like how it's signed. It looks really nice. It's nothing super fancy or anything like that, but it doesn't flop around, and I think it goes really good with the case. Flipping it over, you can see it is Farasute branded. It tells you the size and the length on it, which is kind of nice. And then you do have quick release spring bars there for easy strap changes. So overall, I'm pretty happy with it. It's nice and flexible right out of the box. It's conformed to my wrist nicely. It doesn't really smell like leather, so I'm not convinced that it's totally a leather strap. But for me, this is 100% better than what you're going to get from a similarly priced Orient or Seiko or Citizen watch. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the strap on this thing, even though I'll probably be swapping it out in the near future. But I do like the color on this one for sure. So there you go, guys. That is the Farasute model 5336A. In my opinion, it's one of the best dress watches that you can find on AliExpress for the price. I mean, this $150 or less than that, you're getting just a beautiful classic watch, sapphire crystal, super slim case there, an interesting movement, a beautiful dial, some of the best packaging I've seen on any Chinese watch. It kind of puts my my Hamilton packaging to shame. So really nice boxing. The strap is pretty decent as well. It's not something you're going to need to upgrade right away. So yeah, as a whole package, this thing is absolutely stunning. I mean, just look at the case profile on this thing. That's kind of what sells it for me. It's light, it's thin, those sloping lugs just hug my wrist beautifully. Yeah, if you're in the market for a dress watch, a dress watch period, this one should be on your list. I wouldn't be paying the 15 grand or whatever it is for the LUC, the original. So $150 for this one, and that is just a gorgeous watch, and you're really going to enjoy it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what Farasute has in the pipeline, see what they have coming up, because they've been just putting out watches that they give me the feels, if you know what I mean. So yeah, really happy with this one, guys. I think you will be too. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.